So I'm in the second half of the Canal journey. I've passed the junction with the Seneca River. I've just exited the Seneca River, and I'm now past the junction with the Oswego Canal, heading for a port, a lock called Brewerton's tonight. Happy to get through that tonight. Was not expecting it. So I'll get through Brewerton's, which leaves me perfectly primed to pass through Lake Oneida tomorrow. Lake Oneida is the reason that the brackets on the mast holding brackets on the boat are so robust, because I've heard some horror stories about how rough Lake Oneida can be. But tomorrow is supposed to be rainy, which sucks, but zero wind, which is great. So maybe it's an opportunity to test out my new foul weather gear and get across the lake in really flat calm, so that I don't have to test these brackets any more than they've already been tested. So like 30 seconds later, and I apologize for the lousy sound quality, but you'll notice I have no lapels to which I could apply a lavalier microphone. But I just wanted to pan around again. Look at the scenery on this river. It's amazing. It alternates between like cottage country and then like rich, big, beautiful houses, and then like rundown double wides, and then this. Like, I can't decide whether it's like the Everglades or the Detroit River or everything in between. Okay, this is our final lock of the day at Brewerton. Look at how picturesque this is, right? It's, I don't know, makes me think of British Columbia. Tall pine trees, just beautiful, secluded little spot. And of course it's raining. So we're gonna go through our last lock, our first lift in the rain. Well, it's 10:40 on Tuesday morning. I've crossed Lake Oneida, which is great. That was a big concern area. That's, like I mentioned yesterday, why the mast brackets are as robust as they are. You hear horror stories about Lake Oneida. So we're back in the Erie Canal. And you can see quite beautiful out here. Long straight passage of foliage on both sides, just starting to get some colors. We're going to try and get three locks now today. At least two of them I think are 25-foot lifts, and the third one, no, I think I got a 40-footer coming up tomorrow, I think, but today it's 2 or 3 25-foot lifts, and then we'll start going back down, and it's an aggressive down. The next 2 days I think I'm dropping something like 300 feet, 420 feet to sea level over the next 2 days. Fun. So here we are at our first lock of the day. Can't remember what it's called, but you can see, I don't know if I can zoom in here. No, I don't know if you can see in the video. Oh, it's starting to settle now, but there was a ton of water bubbling at the lock entry doors. So this is a big lock, 25-foot lift. So that's going to be up there. I think I had one 35-footer earlier in the week, but anyway, another picturesque, beautiful location here. So fingers crossed for a smooth one. It's Wednesday, September 24th, about 2 in the afternoon. We're at Lock 17, which is Little Falls. and Little Falls is a really big lock. It's a 40-foot descent. So I think this will be my biggest for sure on, well, ever. Certainly biggest of this trip. And one of our buddy boats went on today. They got an early start. Stan and I are waiting until Monday to put our masts up. So we're gonna lollygag our way through the channel or the canal. And to that end, we stopped in Little Falls and had a wood-fired pizza for lunch. My third pizza of the trip. So if you're curious about what I like almost as much as beer, it's pizza. So we're just waiting now for the lock chamber to fill up again so he can lower us. I'm going to set the phone up and try and do a time lapse of this lock. Stand by. So I pull into the lock here and try and get lined up with a couple of the lines that are hanging down the side of the wall, and just like that, I'm managing 2 lines, making sure the bow and the stern both stay a distance away from the wall. And then once we reach bottom, I untie the mooring lines and get the boat in gear and leave the lock. Okay, it's Thursday morning, September 25th, and we're at about mile 50, which means less than 50 miles to go to the Hudson River, which is great. Today is day 7. I left Port Dover a week ago today. And I'm pretty much on schedule. I had planned on 8 days in the canal, and it looks like that's probably gonna be accurate. And I think what we're gonna do is get as close as we can tonight to what they call the big staircase lock at the end, which is 5 locks in a row that over a span of about 2 miles that drop us something like 180 feet down to sea level. It's interesting, right? I started at Lake Erie's 520 or 540 feet above sea level, and then I went down a little bit into the canal, and then up a little bit, and then it's been down from 420 feet was our highest point a couple of days ago. So our buddy boat, Stan, I don't know if you can see him up there somewhere. There he is still trucking along. Sapphire, we parted ways with Sapphire a few days ago. Mark and Dave really wanted to be on the Hudson by Friday morning to try and push to get their mast stepped on Friday afternoon at Hoppin' Marina. So they are probably a half a day ahead of us. They got 4 more hours motoring yesterday than we did. It's been gloomy and rainy on and off since Tuesday, but the scenery is still lovely. Gray, but foothills, valleys, lots of trees, fewer herons. I guess that's it. So stay tuned. Big day tomorrow.